I heard that people like Charles Krauthammer wasn't too pleased about Ted Cruz's effort. I'm not gonna pretend to have deep insight into the pros and cons of it. One thing I do understand that people like Charles doesn't seem to is the power of representation. Ted Cruz is doing exactly what he was elected to do, represent his base. And if he ran out of material, we know he could have taken that healthcare bill and just start reading from that. And if he had to take a bathroom break, he could have done it right there. It wouldn't have been indecent, because not only would he have plenty of that paper to wipe with, he would have had enough of those pages to build himself a paper-made porta potty for some privacy.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Like I said, Cruz did what he was supposed to do, represent his base, which doesn't mean having these meetings while the people are in the dark. Ted Cruz is speaking on this in broad daylight, yet some in the GOP want to find ways to criticize him for it. Many of y'all have heard me speak on representation before. You understand that's why Obama got elected, because he represents his base. And people on the right want to criticize Obama for being the campaigner-in-chief. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's representing his base. The ideas that he represents are wrong, way wrong, but he keeps himself out there with a wrong-minded left-wing news and entertainment media that is happy to oblige him in promoting the wrong message to his wrong-minded base. But he's doing it right. And with that, he is able to take something so obviously wrong, yet keep the GOP stumbling over themselves. And on top of that, he and the Democrats are enjoying watching the Republican Party destroy itself. And they're enjoying watching other Republicans relish in their own despair as they themselves even wish for the demise of their own Republican Party. Many Republicans are acting like a bunch of dysfunctional teenagers who damage themselves in some cathartic release like cutting. Now we're being faced with a law that allows the government to break the door open into our life. The government will know more about your life than they know about that bill they're forcing on us.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
You know that old saying, well, at least you have your health. Some people realize that when you have your health, you really do have everything. Your health is priceless, and the government is gaining access to that priceless gift you have called your health, and doing it under the guise of such benevolent intentions. The law that not only forces insurance companies to sell you insurance, also forces you to buy it. I'm not even going to get into the adverse effects of what happens when the government tries to control prices. And with the government forcing this onto us, the cost of living is going to go up and quality will go down. The people will end up still saying that insurance and healthcare costs is too expensive. This will be by Democrat design. And with that accomplished, the Democrats will promote the solution that healthcare should be provided by the government. Now they got you. Left-wing government isn't interested in your health for the sake of protecting you, but for controlling you. And if you oppose their ideas for a society, it's not going to be healthy for you. Many of y'all think that governments want to control things like money and oil and trade and whatever. You know what statists and governments ultimately want to control? Populations. Stalin, Lenin, Hitler are a few examples. And don't you liberals start by saying these were right-wing. They were socialists and communists, the very platforms you desire. They were very left-leaning. They are platforms that force expenses onto others, systems that deprive people of their life, liberty, their pursuit of happiness, and their property. And in order for these left-wing tyrants to have a society where they can attempt such ideals, they murdered their citizens who oppose such ideals. The Democrats, socialists, and communists here are implementing a more insidious method to control the population, and that's through healthcare. You might have noticed that abortion is now called a health care choice. Abortion is more than a form of birth control to Democrats. It's population control. The Democrat Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, even said her purpose was extermination. It won't stop with abortion, y'all. Unborn children weren't the first to have their personhood disqualified in this country. And if we don't oppose the Democrats and liberals, they won't be the last. Right now, we see that Democrats are using the IRS to target Republicans. And now the IRS is going to be involved with health care. Let me put this in perspective for you. The KKK was founded by the Democrat Party because they hated Republicans, because Republicans got in the way of what Democrats wanted to do. Are you not seeing the Democrat Party has not strayed far from their KKK mindset? And now the Democrats don't have to target Republicans in the dead of night to lynch them. With the help of the IRS and their increasing control over health care, well, you get the idea. Lastly, on Ted Cruz, I'm cool with his attempt. He represented. I'm not saying this because I want Ted Cruz to run for president. I could be dead wrong about how I'm reading what the Constitution says about presidential eligibility, but I know I'm right when I say that you do not want to have this fight after 8 years of questioning Obama's citizenship. And y'all want to consider running a man who was not born in the United States and his father wasn't born in the United States? It's the same situation many of y'all tried to use against Obama. Y'all think that Ted Cruz is going to be more acceptable because his parents make you think of I Love Lucy? For the love of God, please do not put us through this. I'm Alfonso Rachel with ZoNation, and I'm still wondering why liberals keep bragging about countries like Canada and their healthcare system. But they won't move there. Not only that, they brag about how they go up there and take advantage of their treatment and medicine. This is really selfish. Canada has its own citizens to provide health care for, who often have to wait for their treatment. Yet we have Americans going up there, making the process take even longer for them. They probably don't want to live in Canada due to their high taxes to pay for their low-quality health care, which makes it really expensive to live in Canada. While many of you liberals think it's such a great idea to run up to Canada and raid their health care system, Canadians come to America to get treated with better quality health care that they can get without waiting for the state to say they can. It sucks to hear that some people can't afford health insurance. Stop voting for the government to impose more costs on businesses. When you do that, the cost of living will come down, and more people will be able to afford health insurance.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.